Hey everyone, it's Tuesday. That's a bit of a weird angle. Let's try and change that. There we are. So I've got into the shed a little bit late today. So yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock. So cue the clock at some point. What am I going to do this evening? Well, if I spin around, I've got to finish off my perch bobbers, which are there. There they are. So I've got to finish those off for Russ. I've got these four floats here to finish off as well. They just need their final coat of varnish, which I'll be doing very, very shortly. Oh, here it goes. Hey, 6 o'clock, and all's well, and not a sausage pricked. Yeah, so thank you, Clock. That's enough of that. So let's crack on. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do after the floats. I have been making up, if I find them on my desk, I have been making up some sort of float carcasses. And you can see those here, like skeletons of floats. I've got some quite chunky wagglers that I'm going to be making. So I've got to whip up all of those. So I've got quite a few. You can see them on the bench here. So I've been making up lots of different designs. So I've got some short wagglers. I've got some longer, thicker wagglers. I've got some insert wagglers, and I've also got some, no, that's not them. Where are they? Them. I've got some of the sort of antenna style floats. That's a terrible bit of camera work. I apologise, and I'm going to stop waffling. Just about to start varnishing Russ's perch bobbers. So yesterday, you would have seen this like literally a few seconds ago. I held the float by the tip end and painted the stem. And today I'm holding it by the stem and painting the tip end. So yeah, it's exciting stuff, isn't it? A little bit of varnish on there and just varnish away. So you've seen me do all this, so I'm not going to bore you with it. I'll let you watch a few seconds of it because you might like that kind of thing. I don't know, but I'm not going to drag it out for too long. But once these are done, I'll be able to hang them up on that new bit of shelf space that I created, the hanging space that I created. And then they will be hanging there for a couple of weeks now until they're dry. What I'll do once these are finished is I will reach out to Russ and just let him know that they're finished, because he did say that when they are finished, he would like to come and collect them in person. So that'll be exciting. So Russ wants to come down and visit me in the pleasuring shed. He wants to see what it's all about. So that'll be nice to have him, and I can make him a nice cup of tea, and we can sit and chat about all things fishing, and he can collect his floats. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Right, I'm going to crack on with this and get the jobbed, and then we'll talk about whatever we're going to do next. So I've just had a little bit of good news. The customer that ordered the floats for their memorial fishing match has just confirmed that they would like this style of float, which has the fatter body than the other one I showed you. So that's great. So I can crack on with that now. So my first job for making a batch of these, he wants 10. So my first job for making a batch of these is to cut the balsa bodies. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop up a bit of balsa into little sections, ready to be able to turn these down as to the little bodies that I'm making. So that's my next job. So my first job in making that set of floats is to cut some balsa dowel. So I've got a length of balsa dowel here. It is 45 centimeters long and it is 16 mil in diameter. So to make the floats that I used as my sample, I need to cut these into 3.5 centimeter stretches or blocks and get that cut down. And I'm going to use I bought myself a little tiny table saw, which is great for doing quick jobs like this. So I'm going to get that set up and show you what I do. So I've got my little table saw set up and I'm going to cut this into strips. So if we look at the other camera, so here's my table saw and I have set it at a 3.5 centimeter gap between the blade and the bar. So all I'm going to do is put the dowel up to the bar and then push it through. Once the blade's spinning, that'll chop it up into nice little 3.5 centimeter pieces. Makes it really easy to cut, keeps the cut nice and straight. So here we go. going to get noisy a bit, so sorry about this. I'm just going to pass it through. Now, obviously, I need to keep my fingers well away from that spinning blade. So all we're doing is just passing it through. It's like a knife through butter. There we are, out the other side. And there's the first one done. 3.5 centimetres exactly. So we keep working, and I need 10 of these. Two more out of this. Always good to do a couple spare, and then if you ruin them, you haven't got to make the whole batch again. So I'll be a little bit more careful on this one. Yeah, here we go. Here we are. Good. Make sure that blade has stopped. So there we are, that's done. Now I'm gonna just unplug it straight away so there's no risk of me accidentally hitting the switch and spinning that blade. So there's no cover on that blade. Although the tape was great, it's probably not the safest tool in the world. But there we are, so that's done. I'm gonna get Henry out, hoover up this dust. It's all dusty inside there. So whenever I finish with a cutter or my sander, I always give it a good old hoover out to keep the dust out of the motor and try and keep it as clean as possible. Just me. I hope that it might make the tool last a little bit longer. Good, right, let's get cleaning. So now I've got my little pieces cut down to size. I'm going to use one of these funny little things, these little gadgets here. This is like a center finder. So all I do, if you look under this camera, is I will place it on the top, I'll find my pencil, and draw a line where it allows me to, there, and rotate it through 90 degrees. There we are, and another turn, draw another line. And again, draw another line. And where all the lines cross over, that's the center line, the center line, the center hole. So I'm just going to push my pencil into there. And there we are. So we've got a nice centered hole. So when I go to drill it, I'm drilling straight into that hole. So I'm going to do that with all 20 sides of this dowel. So I've got 10 pieces of dowel and I need to do it at both ends. So I'll be doing it 20 times. And that way I get a nice clean line straight down the center, which will make the dowels much, much easier to turn. And I've just remembered I haven't got 10, I've got 12 pieces of dowel because I did 2 extra. So that's that one done. I'll keep going. So I've got my little bits of dowel all cut up and all marked. Where is it? There we are. You can see that's a nice centered dot. So now it's time to drill them. So I've got my drill here. You can just see it in the corner of the screen. Not the greatest angle, I'm afraid, but nonetheless, it's going to work. So straight through, using the little mark, the little dot in the center. I go through both sides. It should, if I've done my lines right, it should punch through. There we are. That means now I've got a hole all the way through. So that's one done, 11 more to go. So that's all of the bits of balsa drilled through. So I've got 12 bits of balsa dowel with holes right through the center of them, or near enough to the center. So my next job is to pass a bamboo skewer through the center of each of them. They can be quite a snug fit, which is good. I want it to be a snug fit. So yeah, I'm not going to glue them in place because I don't want them to do that yet, but I want to put a bamboo skewer through each of them. So there's one. Let's find another one. So another bamboo skewer. Remember to make sure the bamboo skewers are nice and clean. There's not too many knots and not too bendy. So let's find another bit of dowel and pass it through. Oh, let's go the other way. There we go. That's better. Again, I want a nice snug fit for when I turn it on the lathe. So there we are. That's another one done. So we've got another 10 more of those to do. So see you in a minute. So there we go. We've got 12 bits of dowel all mounted on a bamboo skewer. And I think that is going to be me for the evening. So I've got some editing to do now for this. So yeah, so that'll take me another hour or so. And it's already coming up to 7:30. So yeah, so that's me done for the evening. I'm going to go and sit on the computer now and do some editing. So yeah, so I will see you back here tomorrow.